Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of my CSS tutorial. In this episode we are going to go through the text styling properties in CSS. So we have a lot of properties in CSS for text formatting. I'm gonna start by making a paragraph, and this is going to be the text that we will be styling. I'm gonna type in VS Code lorem and press tab to create some sample code or a sample text. There we go. And this is gonna be the text that I'm going to style. I'm gonna give it a class of example. There we go. And first I am going to discuss the color of the text. So that's pretty simple. Let's take the example class or the example class and set the color to be blue, for example. And now our text is blue. So this is probably the easiest one. We can use a color name like blue. We can use a hex value, an RGB value, or an HSL value. Then we can add a background dash color of black, for example. I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. HSL values, I'm gonna go with 50. There we go. Alright, now we got a gray background. And something important to note about this is that high contrast, aka the text being easily visible and readable, is very important for people who have vision problems, because many people do. And always make sure that the contrast between the text color and the background color or the image is good. For example, this one is not the greatest. This should be something like let's see, that's a pretty good one. It's kind of bright, but it's really visible. Then we have the text alignment and text direction properties. So we can go ahead and use the text align property to set the horizontal alignment of the text. So for example, I can use text align center. And now the text, it will be centered. I can also change this to left or to right. And you can see the difference. There's also some other styles over here that we can use. Justify and initial and unset. That's not gonna do anything. And then there is inherit. And of course the calculate and variable functions, or yeah. Alright, so this is the text align. I'm gonna make it centered. Then if we set the text alignment property to justify, each line will be stretched so that every line has an equal width, and the left and the right margins will be straight, like in magazines and newspapers. So let's actually use the justifier. So now you can see that the text will go from the left to the right and fill up all the space available. Then we have the text align dash last and we can set this to be right. It will look like this. We can set it to be center. It will look like that. Or we can set it to be justify, and it will look like that. So basically it affects the last line of text in the entire paragraph in this case. So with the text align last property, we can specify how we want the alignment of the last line of a text to be. Then we have the text direction. We can use the direction property. Let's go and type it in. I'm gonna take the direction and set it to be right to left. So that makes sense. So right now, let me actually change this sample text into something a little bit more simple. Sample text. So yeah, there we go. So now it's starting from the right and going to the left. We can also set this to be left to right, which is the default value. And left to left and RTR, they don't exist. The RTL is the one that is the most important with the direction property. Then we have the Unicode dash BIDI or BIDI, and we can say BIDI dash override. Now you can see what happened. The example or the sample text is now written backwards over here. If we set this to be left to right, there's no difference. Then we have the vertical align properties to set the vertical alignment of an element. And for this I am going to need an example picture. So I'm gonna go and take this small picture of a pink cube, put it inside of here, and then I'm gonna go to the index file. I'm gonna remove the sample text. I'm also going to remove these properties, and I'm gonna insert an image with the source of images and small dash cube dot gif or gif, and alternative text will be a purple cube. There we go. We can also set the width and height if we want to, but in this case we don't have to. Alright. So I'm gonna create 5 paragraphs that will all contain this. So let's create a paragraph. I'm gonna cut this image inside of here. There we go. And I'm gonna insert some text. So this is, I'm gonna write this in and show you the examples. So in this example we are setting the vertical alignment of an image in a piece of text inside paragraphs. Alright, here we go. I got the examples here. I'm gonna give these paragraphs a class. This is gonna be number 1. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it there we go, over here and over here, and I'm gonna number these accordingly. Oh yeah, but they cannot, of course we gotta add, for example, a letter A. into the front. Alright, so let's get over here. I can remove that. I'm gonna take the .a1. So the default value for the vertical alignment is baseline. So vertical dash align baseline. You can see that nothing happens to the image. And by the way, I put my classes in the wrong place. They should be inside the image. Let me fix that. There we go. Now we got the classes inside of the images. Alright, now I'm gonna show the text top property. So I'm gonna take the class A2 and use the vertical align of text dash top. And you can see what happened to the image. It is slightly above or higher than the default value. Then we can take the class A3 and use the vertical alignment of text bottom. Now this small cube is at the bottom. Then we can take the class A4, use the vertical alignment of sub. That essentially does the same as the text bottom. And then we have the vertical align of super. And that is very much the same as the text top property. We also have some others here, like middle, which is basically the default. Then we have WebKit baseline middle. It goes to the bottom. And then we have baseline, which is the default. And yeah, those are pretty much the values of this. So you can use the text top or text bottom or bottom values. So these are kind of the same. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove these, and I'm gonna also remove these paragraphs. There we go. And I'm gonna give some examples of text decorating. So this is gonna be example number 1. I'm gonna copy this, let's say a few times, and I'm gonna give it a class of A. The second one is gonna be B, and so on and so forth. B, C, D, E, F, G. Alright. Now I can go over here and I'm going to select the class A. So let's take dot A, and we can add a text decoration colon overline. And now there is a line above the text right over here. I'm gonna select the class B, use the text decoration. By the way, these are the styles we have. Then we have some colors. Alright, but anyways, I'm gonna use the text decoration line true. So it basically adds a line on top of this text. We can also do this with an HTML element, and this is another way to do this. Alright, then we can take the third paragraph and use the text decoration underline, and that underlines the text. That's a very useful one. Then we can take the next paragraph and use the text decoration. And on this one, I'm gonna use two values. I'm gonna use the overline and the underline. And the result is going to be this. Basically, we have a line above the text and below the text. So that's another useful one. We can also specify a color for these. So we can use the text decoration color property. Let's make this one pink. Okay, it's not too visible. I'm gonna make it red. Alright, now you can see this one is red. Then the text decoration color. I'm gonna make this one blue, like RGB. And this will be green. Alright, and this is going to be let's say a dark goldenrod. So yeah, we can also set colors for these text decorations. Alright, I'm gonna remove all these paragraphs except for the first one. I'm gonna be working with this one, and let's remove these as well. So now we have this one right over here. I'm gonna be using the underline property. The red color is good, and I'm gonna show you some text decoration styles. So text decoration style. So here are the styles that we can use. I'm gonna start with solid. That's the default value. Then we have double. You can see what it looks like right over here. Then we have dotted. That's gonna be dotted. We have dashed. It will be dashed. We have wavy, which is the best looking one in my opinion. And then we have also double. Actually I showed that already, alright. Is there anything I didn't show? No, there's not. Alright, so we can also use the inherit, initial and unset values, but I'm gonna leave this at wavy. Now, we can also specify the thickness of the decoration line with the text decoration thickness property. So, text decoration thickness. If I set it to be auto, this is the default value. I can set this to be 5 pixels. Now it will look like that. I can set it to be 25%. It looks like that. Or I can set it to be 2 pixels. Or 1 pixel. Or 3 pixels. Whatever you want. And also this one can be solid, for example. Now that's a text decoration or underline of 25 pixels. That's 2 pixels, 3 pixels, 4 pixels, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, these are pretty fun to play with. And as usual with CSS, we also have a shorthand property for the text styling. So we can simply type text decoration colon, and now we first gotta assign the text decoration line. So that is going to be the underline, for example. So let's use that. And then we have to use, we don't have to use, this is the only required one. So I can delete these. And it works already. We have an underlining. But we can also add a color, a style, and a thickness. So yeah, there's the style, or the type of underlining or text decoration, I should say. Then there's the color, the style, and the width. So that's basically how it works. Alright, pretty cool. Then I'm gonna show you one more thing, and that's going to be a link. So let's create an anchor tag with the href of hashtag. I'm not gonna actually make it to go anywhere. Let's type in, this is a link example. And let's add a class of link. There we go. Let's go to the CSS styles sheet and select the class link. Now we can type in text decoration none, and it will remove the underlining, so people might not realize that this is a link. If we make the color black, it's even less obvious to realize that this is a link. And then finally, if we set the cursor property to be, for example, auto, it won't even change my cursor anymore when I hover over this. So this is a link in reality, but it doesn't look like one. Because there's no text decoration, the color is black like a normal text, and the cursor is set to auto, which is basically this same cursor that's on every other piece of text. Now we can of course click this, but it doesn't have an href attribute set, so it will not actually take us anywhere. Actually, if I remember correctly, if I only put a hashtag, it will take me to this site itself. Alright. Anyways, that's a lot for one video. In the next one, I'm going to go over more of the CSS text styling properties. And yeah, I hope you learned something new in this episode, and I hope I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. And yeah, happy learning everyone, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.